Imagine for a moment you're sitting across from someone you care about deeply. Your heart is wide open, your words are raw and vulnerable, and yet something feels off. It's almost as if there's an invisible wall between you, something you can't quite see but can feel. There's a distance that shouldn't be there. And in that silence, a question forms in your mind. Why do we keep running from the people who love us the most? It's strange, isn't it? How sometimes when someone is reaching out to us, offering everything they have love, care, understanding we push them away. We find ourselves withdrawing, retreating, and before we know it, we're left alone, feeling misunderstood, or worse, abandoned. It's a painful paradox we can never seem to escape. We crave connection, but fear it at the same time. This tug of war within ourselves is more common than you might think. It's something we've all felt at one point or another. But what if I told you that the root of this behavior lies deeper than just simple hesitation or a fear of rejection? What if I told you that pushing people away is not just a reflex, but a complex psychological defense mechanism, one that's been shaped by past experiences, hidden fears, and the ways in which we've learned to protect our hearts? The psychology of pushing people away is a quiet, often invisible force that shapes many of our relationships. It happens in ways we don't even recognize, and yet it's one of the most profound ways our past can silently control our present. It's the way our minds, in their attempt to protect us from pain, sometimes create barriers between us and those who matter the most. But here's the thing about that protection. It's a false sense of safety. It's the kind of safety that keeps us locked inside our own walls, unable to truly connect with others, unable to open ourselves fully to the love we so desperately need. And in that space, in that moment of distance, we lose something precious. We lose the opportunity to be seen, to be understood, and to love without fear. So let's take a deep breath together and let's explore why this happens. Why do we push people away, even when we don't want to? Why does love, something so deeply desired, often feel like it comes with strings attached? And more importantly, how can we break free from these patterns and allow ourselves to be truly open, vulnerable, and loved? Picture this. You're having a conversation with someone you care about. Everything feels normal at first, but then something shifts. Maybe they say something small, something that triggers a deep-seated fear inside you. It could be an innocent comment, an offhand remark, but in that moment, your mind begins to race. You start thinking about all the ways this conversation could go wrong. You wonder if they really understand you, if they really see you. And before you know it, you're pulling away. Maybe you change the subject, avoid eye contact, or simply withdraw into yourself. You put up that invisible wall, the wall that says, "I'm not ready to let you in." The truth is, these walls don't appear out of nowhere. They're the result of years of experiences, sometimes from childhood, sometimes from past relationships, sometimes from moments where we felt abandoned, hurt, or misunderstood. They're built from the pieces of ourselves that we were taught to hide, the parts of us that we believed were unworthy of love or connection. So, if you've ever experienced this, you know how it feels. The overwhelming sense that if you let someone truly see you, if you open up completely, they might leave. Or worse, they might see something in you that you can't bear to show. So you retreat. You push them away before they can get too close, before they can see the parts of you that you've locked away. This is where the psychology of pushing people away becomes so complicated. It's not about not caring. It's not about not wanting love. It's about the fear of being too much or not enough, all at once. It's about a deep, almost primal fear that if someone sees the real you, they'll walk away. At the core of this behavior lies something that we all struggle with in one way or another: vulnerability. To be vulnerable is to be exposed, to lay yourself bare before someone else and hope that they'll handle your heart with care. But the problem is that vulnerability comes with a risk. It's the risk that the person you're opening up to might not value it, might not see it as you do, or might not respond the way you hope. When we've been hurt before, whether in childhood or in past relationships, our minds naturally begin to protect us. We start to build walls around our hearts, thinking that if we just keep the pain out, we'll be safe. But what we forget is that vulnerability is also the doorway to love, to connection, to the very thing we crave the most. And when we deny ourselves the chance to be vulnerable, we deny ourselves the chance to experience the fullness of life. Let me ask you, have you ever been in a relationship where you wanted to open up, to share something important, but instead you held back, afraid of being judged or rejected? Have you ever found yourself giving just a little bit less, holding back just a little bit more because you feared that if you gave too much, you'd lose yourself in the process? It's a delicate balance, isn't it? The dance between wanting to be seen and fearing the consequences of being seen. And it's this fear that causes us to pull back, to push people away, even when they're offering us something beautiful. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the past. Think about the relationships you've had, whether with family, friends, or partners, and consider how those early experiences might have shaped your behavior today. How many times did you feel abandoned, misunderstood, or hurt by someone who was supposed to care for you? How many times did you pour yourself into someone only to have them not see you or not respond in the way you hoped? Our past experiences shape the way we view the world and the way we interact with others. When we experience pain in relationships, especially when we're younger, we begin to develop coping mechanisms to protect ourselves. But sometimes those mechanisms become so ingrained in us that we don't even realize we're using them. We push people away without even thinking about it, not because we want to hurt them, but because we're terrified of being hurt ourselves. It's like walking around with an invisible scar. You can't see it, but you know it's there. And because of that scar, you're afraid to touch anyone else too closely. You don't want to risk reopening the wound. But what if you could allow yourself to heal? What if you could finally take down those walls, even just a little bit, and let someone in? What if you could trust again, without the fear of being hurt? It's a cruel paradox, isn't it? The more we push people away, the more we long for connection. We tell ourselves that we don't need anyone, that we're better off on our own. But deep down, we're just afraid of what might happen if we let someone truly get close. But here's the thing. When we isolate ourselves, when we withdraw into our own little world, we miss out on the beauty of human connection. We miss out on the opportunity to grow, to love, and to heal together. Because the truth is, connection is not just about having someone there, it's about sharing with them, being real with them, even when it's difficult. Think of the times when you've shared your heart with someone, when you've let your guard down and allowed yourself to be truly seen. Wasn't there something beautiful in that moment? Something that made you feel understood, validated, and alive? So, how do we stop pushing people away? How do we break free from the patterns that keep us locked inside ourselves? The first step is awareness. It starts with recognizing that these walls exist. It's about acknowledging the fear that drives us to retreat, the past that still holds us back, and the emotional scars that we've been carrying around for too long. Once we can see the truth, we can start to heal. Healing comes from within, but it also comes from the people around us. It comes from the connections we choose to make, the relationships we nurture, and the vulnerability we allow ourselves to embrace. Healing is a process, not a destination. It's about learning to trust, to open up, and to let others see the real you, the messy, imperfect, beautiful you. And as you begin to let go of those walls, you might find that love is not as scary as it once seemed. You might discover that the very thing you've been pushing away is the thing you need the most. Connection is not a threat. It's the very thing that will help you heal and grow. So the next time you feel yourself pulling away, ask yourself what you're afraid of. Ask yourself if you're pushing someone away because you fear losing them or because you fear losing yourself. Ask yourself if you're ready to let go of the walls you've built and to allow someone to see you, truly see you for who you are. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to have everything together. All you have to do is be real, be vulnerable, and allow yourself to trust. And in that moment, you'll find that the very thing you were running from, the love, the connection, the belonging, is the very thing that will set you free. So take a deep breath, let your guard down, and know that you are worthy of love, exactly as you are. And when you're ready, let someone in.